Good morning. We invite you to find your seats and prepare for this morning's service. On behalf of the worship committee, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Linda Brennison, and I'm your service leader today. We stream all Sunday services on YouTube and Zoom, but you are always welcome to join us in any way you choose. For more information about UUCC, please visit our website at uucolumbia.org and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We also provide weekly email updates each Thursday. Would somebody in the foyer please close the doors? Thank you. I'm hearing a lot of conversation, and I'm easily distracted. You don't want that. We welcome families with children and provide childcare during our service for infants and children up to the age of 4. To be a volunteer, please see Bethany Storlazzi. We have a seating area in the back of the sanctuary, especially for children ages 4 to 7 and their parents. You may bring toys found at the back of the social hall for quiet play. Today, children and youth over 4 will attend their CYRE classes after the Story for All Ages. Our guest speaker today is Laura Hartwig. Laura has been a UU since 2010 and became a member of the UUCC in 2016 when she moved to South Carolina from New York. She was formerly chair of our Social Action Committee and has worked tirelessly in the community with Black Lives Matter, the Poor People's Campaign, and Transitions Winter Shelter, to name a few. Laura's dedication to creating a kinder, gentler world inspires us all. And now, please silence all devices as we center ourselves for today's service and listen to the prelude.
This morning's prelude selection is Open Eyes, Open Hands, Open Mind, Open Heart, written and arranged by Morgan McLaughlin, based on La Folia by Corelli. And today, Chalice Voices and the choir community here at UUCC gives special recognition to Morgan for all his contributions to music as a composer, arranger, and singer over the years, and wishes him the most beautiful of journeys as he moves this season to California. He's going to share a little bit about the piece before we sing it.
The words of this, Corelli's melody is very nice because it has chords that it harmonizes with itself very well, which is why I picked it out. And the text, open eyes, open hands, open mind, open heart, is just a recitation of what we covenant to do here.
Our journey
Thank you, Morgan and Chalice Singers. Lovely. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in the congregational covenant in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, seek knowledge in freedom, and serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is founded on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, meaning we don't have to believe the same to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We side with love, embracing and welcoming all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments. Our board members wear green name tags. We would like to welcome any guests or visitors here today, and I think Elisa's going to carry the microphone. So if we have any visitors, would you please stand and wait for the microphone to introduce yourself? We'd really appreciate hearing from you. There's some in the back. There's 4,
Oh, wow.
5. Please share your name and where you are from.
I'm Stephanie Turner.
I'm Alan Turner.
I'm Lydia Turner. I'm Elizabeth Turner.
Get into all this. I'm Emily McCravey. We're from Columbia, and the last time I was here was probably almost 20 years ago.
I'm Phoenix McKipp.
I'm Morgan McKipp.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, I think that's everyone. Elisa, thank you for carrying the microphone. Visitors, if you'd like to know more about UUCC, fill out a visitor card that's in the chair in front of you. There should be a pin there as well. Place it in the collection plate when we pass that around later in the service. We'll email you about our events. That's the purpose of that. If you'd like to know what's going on and we have your email address, we will send you an email every week. Today's chalice lighter, is she here? Yeah, there she is Roxanne. Roxanne, please come forward. Hi. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Roxanne. Roxanne is 5 years old and attends the Montessori School of Columbia. She likes playing with her friends, playing Barbies, and holding her pet rat, Princess Whiskers. Spirit of light and life, come unto us.
Our opening hymn is in the Teal hymnal. It's number 1014, Answering the Call of Love. Now, before we sing this together, you may wonder why when you turn to hymn 1014, you see a different title listed. The man who wrote this song, Jason Shelton, changed the lyrics in the year 2016. He was aware that a number of persons with disabilities were feeling excluded from the metaphor of standing on the side of love. And he chose himself to change the lyrics to Answering the Call of Love because he heard them, saw them, and wanted them to be included and loved. And also because he felt the idea of answering the call of love was a much more flexible and embracing metaphor. So today when we sing this, each time you see we're standing on the side of love, please join me in changing the lyrics to, we are answering the call of love. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing.
The promise of this
now it's time for our story for all ages. I think we have some kids coming up from the back, and any of you other kids, please come up. And Laura is going to share a story with you.
Let's see. Can you hear me? Welcome. Come on. Okay. Good. Has everybody got room? Oh, we got one more coming. Today, I wanted to read you a story about the big umbrella. And this is written by Amy June Bates. So by the front door, there is an umbrella. It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. Raise your hand if you like to help. Like, oh, good, lots of helpers. That's excellent. It likes to spread its arms wide. Can you spread your arms wide? Ah, that's good. That's so good. It likes to give shelter. See, everybody could come under there. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you're tall or hairy or even plaid. We have somebody wearing plaid up here today. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Can you stomp your legs? It doesn't matter how many you have. Some people worry that there won't be enough room under the umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There is. That big umbrella. You knew it. You're good, good. Look at all those people that were under that big umbrella. There's always room underneath the big umbrella. Thank you, everyone, for coming up here and sharing with me today. I guess now you're going to go back and have fun. Okay, we're going to sing the kids out. Bye, everybody. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, and I'd just like to say that next time we sing the children out, please help us sing. The words are in your order of service. I noticed that there weren't very many people singing the children out, so next time do a better job. And now, our speaker, Laura Hartwig, has some opening words.
Good morning. The first reading this morning is a responsive one, so if you'll pull out your gray hymnal, and I believe it's number 637. It's called A Litany of Atonement by the Reverend Robert Eller Isaacs. Sorry. So I'll read the first part, and if you will chime in with the second part there. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference, we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible, We forgive ourselves and begin again in love. For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause, we forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love. For each time our greed has blinded us to the needs of others, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin in love. For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For losing sight of our unity, we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. And for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness, we forgive ourselves and each other, and we begin again in love.
Thanks, Laura. And now it is time for Candles of Community. If you have significant personal joy or sorrow or concern you want shared from this pulpit, please email or text our minister by noon on Friday. But if you wish to share in person, we request that you pick up a candle in the foyer before the service. We have an active caring committee for those in need, and they wear yellow name tags. Will those of you who have taken a candle please come forward at this time and briefly share your joy or concern?
Good morning, I'm Bud Ashley. My wife's Chuck, her brother, her older brother, 72 years old, about to turn 73. We just got news a few days ago that he has a 4-centimeter mass in his lungs, and he's probably got lung cancer and probably won't live much longer. And this is kind of a joy and a concern in a way, because Mike was soaked with Agent Orange when he was in Vietnam, and he's had mental problems and severe health problems his whole life, and he has been wishing to die. So put him in your thoughts and ask him to go on ahead and go home. That's where he wants to be. For Mike Sargent.
I'm Deb Matherly. This is both a joy and sorrow for all the wars in Ukraine and Middle East, but a joy that I just got a video of my great-granddaughter learning to crawl, and it warms the heart. So.
I'm Kevin McKinney, and this is a candle of ongoing gratitude for the folks who are participating in our UU the Vote campaign. We're doing well, but we have a long way to go to meet, if we were to meet our admittedly very ambitious goals. But you can find out about that at the table after the service, so I'll say no more on that heading. The excitement that this candle celebrates is for our second House meeting for more justice. I won't try to explain all that now. A number of us are signed up for this first stage in the more justice process, which has done so much already to help the wider Columbia community, and which we are now at UUCC hoping to be a bigger part of. So if you'd like to find out more, you don't have to be signed up to attend, and I should note that this is in lieu of our regular social action meeting as well. So we will not be meeting to do the regular committee business, but we will be having this House meeting. You're welcome. Hope to see you there. We'll start, I think, at 12:30. Yes, Connie? Yeah. So, gratitude and excitement.
Hello, I'm new here. My name is Renee, and I just moved from Texas about a month ago. And though I'm very excited about my new prospects in South Carolina and about a new UU community, I do have a concern. My son has brain tumors, and they were fine for a long time. He turns 21 in a couple weeks, but the brain spider, as we call him, has decided to get a little more aggressive. So if you can keep him in your thoughts and our family, and for me, as a mom so far away from her kid that doesn't really need her anymore anyway, but who cares tremendously, and also for the future going forward here. So keep us in your thoughts. Thank you. Oh, my son's name is Matthew Chapman. He goes by Matt.
Hello, my name is Connie Quirk. I'm here with a joy and a concern. The joy is that the young adults took it upon themselves, and a number of us. Bethany was very involved. And we went over to USC when the Proud Boys were there giving their speech. And we set up a table and had a sign that said, do something. And we stopped kids. I had gotten the names of 18 to 24-year-olds who live in Richland and gotten their addresses. And so we asked them to write postcards about voting, and we had wonderful success. We had 71 postcards written in about 2 hours, and most of them were done one for each person. There was a number of them, like Audrey, did, I think 17? And it was Audrey, Will, and Chantel who were there, and we're hoping to do it again. We had so much success. And I was really pleased because we hear that that age group is not voting, but we had so much success, and kids were registered, and they were gonna vote, they knew where to vote, and they wanted to write postcards to their friends. So that's a real plus. The sorrow is that I have a niece her husband is in the service there in Japan. She's had a very, very difficult time getting pregnant, and so she got a dog a year ago, and she has put all her love for a year into this dog. She has trained him. They took him in to have him neutered, and he died on the table. And so they do not know why, but she is devastated, and my sister, who is her mother, is devastated, and she says, now I know how our grandmother felt, because I'm from a military family, and we were all over the world too when different things happened. So if you'd keep, her name is Devin, and if you would keep her in your thoughts. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Alma Engel, and I'm here today with two sorrows. One is I got notified yesterday, or this morning actually, that my nephew up in Pennsylvania plays football. He's in 8th grade and had a severe spinal injury and was airlifted to the Hershey Medical Center. So thoughts and prayers, please, for him and my family. The other one is my husband's father passed away, so please keep us in our thoughts as we travel to Pennsylvania this week. My whole family from Florida and here to go to his service and all that. So, but please keep my nephew in your thoughts. His name is Dominic.
Hey, my name's Ivy, and I'm too short for this mic, so I'll just stand on my toes. I'm just joking. I don't really. Okay, thank you. Service with a smile. He's great. Tall people don't normally understand. I have a candle that represents two people. The first one is my rheumatologist, who I've been with for 30 years. And that's not like, around 30 years, it's more like 31. But I was his first patient when he came into private practice. And he's out now on extended medical leave and probably won't be able to practice again. We're not allowed to talk about his personal medical stuff, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. But to lose a practice like that when you're as dedicated as he is traumatic. And his name is James Fant. And he's a hell of a good guy. And he's kept me walking for a long time. The second is for someone you know, Ann Johnson. Everybody knows Ann, everybody who's been here a while. Remember going to college and you had these tear-off things? Well, I have some of these that I poorly made and then I cut improperly and then Robin had to take over. It was bad. But thankfully she saved me. But even though I can't make these, what I can do is Amazon. And so I have 3 boxes of cards for Ann, and I'd like you to help me fill them up. Ann was diagnosed in about March of 22 with ovarian cancer. It was determined that it was incurable at that time. It was, she tried to stay alive long enough to see her grandson graduate from USC. If he had been at Clemson, she would have just given up. But he's, I'm kidding. And Ann would be okay with that joke, I think. And I talked to her a couple of days ago, and she's feeling okay right now, but Ann has now gone off of chemo and has gone on to hospice. So nobody knows how long she has. I'm not sure exactly what condition she's in, but Ann prefers not to interact with a lot of people right now because, of course, she's not feeling well. So although she doesn't want to have phone calls and visits, what she would really love is to feel your love through these cards. I've made it easy for you. You can either take one of these little tear-offs that Robin tried to help me with, or you can address it yourself. I will stamp it and mail it. I even bought the cards for you. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are dorky. Just take your choice. I didn't think she needed doom and gloom, but please help me fill up her mailbox. I'll be in the back at the end of service. Ann Johnson. And I forgot to mention, Ann's a social worker, was a social worker. So all of her life, she's helped people. And I know she's helped a lot of us as well. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Ivy. And I feel that I'd like to share, if it's not required that you call out somebody's name when you're sharing a joy or sorrow about them. If you prefer, you can just hold their name silently in your heart. We respect all people's privacy in that regard. And now I want to light one final candle for those joys and concerns that remain silent in our hearts. Let us pause for a moment of silent meditation to ponder these joys and concerns. This congregation participates in Share the Plate. Half of our cash collection each Sunday goes to a local charity as a way for us to give back to our community. Our Share the Plate recipient for September is the Harriet Hancock Center. The Harriet Hancock Center provides a safe and welcoming space for the LGBTQ community. If you wish to donate to Share the Plate, please write Share the Plate. Have I said it enough times? Share the Plate on the memo line of your check or donation envelope. Thank you. Will the ushers please come forward?
In special recognition of Hispanic Heritage Month, this morning's offertory is Versus by Venezuelan composer Teresa Carreño.
We are grateful and appreciative of these gifts as they are a testament to the generosity and kindness of our community. And now, Laura Hartwig.
Sorry, I gotta get all my technology ready here. Norm. How many of you know what I'm talking about just by saying that name? I thought about bringing a beer up here, but I heard that's not looked upon well in the pulpit, so. That name instantly transports me to the beloved bar on the show Cheers. Norm would show up and everyone would shout his name. Carla would have that beer waiting for him, knowing exactly what he likes. He never had to ask. It was a place where people felt welcomed, a place where everyone knows your name. It gives me a warm feeling to think about it, and I can see why people would want to go back there. That feeling of being welcomed is something we've always strived for here at UUCC. But I ask myself, is there more that we can do? Today, I want to talk to you about preemptive radical inclusion, a concept that challenges us not only to welcome everyone to the table, but to be ready for them before they even knock on the door. Reverend Stephen introduced this concept in his sermon back on May 5th, but I wanted to cover it in more depth. Preemptive radical inclusion is the proactive practice of creating spaces where everyone is welcomed, regardless of their background, beliefs, or identity. It goes beyond mere tolerance. It embraces diversity at its core. It's more than just putting up a welcome sign. It's ensuring that everyone, no matter who they are, feels like they belong. We UUs have been striving for a more diverse congregation for a long time. We know that we are better as a group when we are more diverse. Studies have shown that inclusive communities tend to be more resilient and innovative. Radical inclusion fosters a sense of belonging, which is linked to better mental health and well-being. Having diverse people in our community encourages diverse perspectives, leading to more creative and effective problem solving. Malcolm Gladwell, author of the book Outliers, says, "It's those who lie outside the ordinary experience who have the most to teach us." Harvard Business Review backs this up. Diverse teams consistently outperform homogeneous ones, precisely because they bring a variety of perspectives that push creativity and problem solving. Studies in community psychology, like those discussed by the American Psychological Association, show that inclusive practices lead to stronger, more resilient communities. By ensuring that everyone has a place and a voice, groups become more cohesive and unified, even though they are diverse. This unity is crucial for social progress, something that we strive for. C.B. Beale, who has spoken extensively on the topic of preemptive radical inclusion, reminds us that inclusion is a doorway to justice, not a goal in itself. We need diversity in our congregation to be a better congregation. Judith Snow, a disability justice activist, reminds us that society tends to view people through a disability paradigm, focusing on what's wrong with them and trying to fix them. Instead, she proposed a giftedness paradigm in which every person is seen as having differences that offer opportunities for enriching interaction and spiritual connection. We need to be mindful of seeking inclusiveness to grow ourselves, not to change or save others. Perhaps it's time that we rethink the term normal. Let's make a space for those diverse voices to teach us, and in doing so, open ourselves to growth. Recognizing that diversity strengthens our congregation and leads to unity is a vital step, but cultivating diversity in a significant way requires us to delve deeper into the practice of inclusion. It's not just about having diverse voices present, it's about engaging with them authentically, even when it challenges us. This is where the concept of vulnerability becomes essential. Many of you have seen Brené Brown's TED Talk. Through her extensive research on vulnerability and leadership, Brown teaches us that true inclusion requires more than just a superficial acceptance of differences. It demands a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty, especially when engaging in perspectives different from our own. This means opening up ourselves to the possibility of being challenged, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable in our interactions, and recognizing that growth and understanding often come from those moments of discomfort. One of my favorite sayings is, "You can't grow in your comfort zone." By leaning into this vulnerability, we create spaces where genuine connections can flourish and where richness of diversity can be fully appreciated and integrated into our congregation. Understanding the importance of inclusiveness is one thing, but living it out in our everyday actions is another. So, how do we move from intention to practice? How do we actively build that community that reflects our values? To illustrate the idea of preparing for others, remember that iconic line from the movie Field of Dreams? It's a film about an Iowa farmer who, inspired by a mysterious voice, builds a baseball field on his land, leading to the magical return of legendary baseball players. In the movie Field of Dreams, the line, "If you build it, they will come," captures the essence of faith and preparation. It's about believing in something before there's any visible proof that those efforts will be rewarded. When we create spaces, physical, emotional, and spiritual, that are genuinely welcoming, we're preparing for the arrival of those who may not yet be in our midst. The preemptive aspect of radical inclusion asks us to build that metaphorical field before we will even know who will come to play. It's about laying the groundwork for inclusivity and belonging, anticipating the needs of others before they express them, and trusting that when we create an environment that is open and welcoming to all, people will indeed come. Just as in Field of Dreams, when Kevin Costner's faith in building the baseball field led to something miraculous, our faith in creating inclusive spaces can lead to a transformative congregation where everyone feels they belong. So, how can we build our own UUCC of dreams? To truly welcome others, we must anticipate their needs before they even have to ask. C.B. Bill suggests that we could build a wheelchair ramp before we know anyone who uses a wheelchair. We are already doing a lot of great things right now with our diverse food options, listening devices, watch from home options, and bathroom signs that welcome people to use the bathroom they feel most comfortable in. We know to use the microphone whenever it's available because everyone deserves to hear. Our kitchen committee does a great job of labeling food, but let's ensure that we list the ingredients when we bring food in so that people with allergies don't have to worry. Other ideas include inclusive language. Let's normalize the use of pronouns. This simple step shows respect and care, making it easier for everyone to feel comfortable from the start. It's a small change, but it signals that we honor all identities. And I'm going to be honest, I did not have my pronouns on my own name tag before I wrote this sermon, but I'm hoping that this sermon brings all kinds of ideas. What about sensory considerations? Can we be mindful that some people are sensitive to scents and encourage a fragrance-free environment? Studies published by the National Library of Medicine found that over 30% of the general population reported they found scented products on others irritating. This study reveals that considerable percentage of the US population reports adverse health effects or irritation from fragrance products, with higher percentages with those with asthma and chemical sensitivity. This is another small adjustment that we can make to make people feel more comfortable. The pandemic has taught us that a lot of people don't feel comfortable shaking hands or hugging. Can we make it a routine to ask first? What about feedback mechanisms? We can create ways for everyone to share their experiences and needs, whether through feedback cards or one-to-one conversations. Sometimes the most radical act of inclusion is simply asking, how can we do better? And being open to the answers. I recently attended an onboarding meeting for Indivisible, a national group aiming to start more local chapters. They emphasized the importance of making people feel welcomed in their chapters. And as an icebreaker, they asked people what had made them feel welcomed or maybe unwelcomed in the past. This exercise got me thinking that we could bring a similar opportunity to our own congregation today. Hopefully you received a note card with your order of service, or if not, there is some in the vestibule. Or you can just use any kind of piece of paper. But after the sermon, I'd like you to write down something that has made you feel included here at UUCC, or maybe something that's made you feel less included. You don't have to put your name on it. After the service, if you'll bring it up and put it in the basket I have here. And once I get all these back, I will go over them and then I'll share them with the board or the appropriate committee chairs to help bring a more cohesive and inclusive feeling here to UUCC. I look forward to hearing your experiences and insights. However, as we gather this valuable feedback, we must also recognize that inclusivity is a journey with its own challenges. We have to be aware we can't do everything. One person will need more light to see and another will have a light sensitivity. That's when we have to rely on our genuine enthusiasm to meet and learn from other people, because we know that it helps us grow as individuals and as a community. Understanding that we can't meet every need for every person perfectly brings us back to the essence of inclusion. Sometimes the simplest of gestures that matter the most. The indivisible icebreaker really got me thinking, sometimes it's not about the food or the perfume or the microphone. Sometimes the most important thing is the hello. It's the smile, the kind word. In the first line of today's opening words, A Litany of Atonement, it says, "For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference." Let's embrace that possibility of feeling uncomfortable and reach out with that hello. Embracing that initial hello can be transformative, but what if we took it a step further? This thought led me to an idea, a challenge really, that I'd like to share with you. A challenge I'm calling the Come Sit With Me initiative. It may not be easy, and I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be easy for me. But this idea struck me during a tech networking event a couple weeks ago. The organizer shared a story about attending his first tech conference as a newcomer to the industry. As he stepped into the bustling conference hall filled with people and endless booths and a myriad of options, he felt overwhelmed. An introvert at heart, he questioned whether he even truly belonged there. He was a beginner with limited knowledge, and this only amplified his uncertainty. Just as he was about to turn around and walk out, a volunteer approached him. Noticing his unease, she offered to help, explaining how everything worked and giving him a brief tour. And then she said, "If you don't have a plan, why don't you come sit with me for the first session?" That simple invitation changed everything. Now, 8 years later, he's planning his own conference. It merely took 5 minutes of her time. She was attending the session anyway. But that small gesture of reassurance, letting him know that he was not alone, it made all the difference. Perhaps you recall starting a new school and walking into the lunchroom and scanning a sea of unfamiliar faces trying to find a place to sit. Hearing someone say, "Come sit with me," can completely change that experience. It's a lifeline. You're instantly accepted. So what if we embrace that practice here in our own congregation? When we see new faces walking through our door, let's go beyond a simple hello or welcome. Let's say, "Come sit with me." It doesn't require a significant commitment. We're attending the service anyway. There's not a need for much conversation because the person in the pulpit is going to be talking. Yet that small invitation can transform someone's experience from feeling lonely and awkward to feeling accepted and welcomed as part of our church family rather than an outsider. And it doesn't have to be limited to newcomers. Anyone sitting alone is an opportunity to extend this gesture. Imagine if there were no empty seats between us. What a show of unity that would be. By taking on this Come Sit With Me challenge, we not only open our hearts to others, but strengthen the very fabric of our community. Sometimes it only takes a simple act to make a profound difference in someone's life, and perhaps even our own. By promoting inclusive language, anticipating needs, and extending simple gestures like "come sit with me," we take concrete steps towards making preemptive radical inclusion a reality. Why not begin today? After the service, look for someone who's sitting alone and invite them to join you. As we strive for preemptive radical inclusion, let us remember that we're not building just ramps or hanging signs. We are building something much more meaningful, a spiritual home, a place where every soul, every voice, every difference is not just acknowledged, but celebrated. We are creating a space where people don't have to ask if they're welcome because they can feel it in the air, in the way we greet them, in the way that we prepare for them before they even arrive. Just like in Field of Dreams, when we build it, they will come, not because of the physical space, but because of the intention, the care, and the love that infuses it. We are laying the foundation of something bigger than ourselves. We are building a sanctuary where everyone knows their name, their needs, and their worth. Just as Norm felt at home in Cheers, where everyone knew his name, let's strive to create that same worth and acceptance here. So as we leave today, let's commit to not just welcoming, but actively anticipating those who will walk through our doors. Let's build our own UUC of dreams, a place where radical, preemptive inclusion is more than just an ideal. It's a living, breathing practice, a place where they won't have to ask because we'll already be there with open arms, waiting and ready. W.E.B. Du Bois said, "Now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done." Let's begin this work now.
Our closing hymn is in the teal hymnal. It's number 1058, Be Ours a Religion. I'll sing it through once and ask you to join me in singing it through twice. Please rise in body or spirit to join. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love. Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine the good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
Feel free to sit down. Our final reading is An Invitation to a Brave Space by Mickey Scott Bay Jones. Together, we will create a brave space because there is no such thing as a safe space. We exist in the real world. We carry scars and we have all caused wounds. In this space, we seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify the voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. This space will not be perfect, but it will not always be what we wish it to be, but it will be our brave space together, and we will work side by side.
And I believe Kevin is going to help me with extinguishing our chalice today. As we extinguish this chalice at the end of our time here today, may its light gently warm our souls and guide our steps until we are together again. Please stand and join in singing the congregational benediction.
This morning, I invite Chuck up to the piano to join in signing the congregational benediction.
Thank you. Well, our time together has come to a close. Before you leave, please take a few minutes to welcome our visitors, and we do welcome those that were brave enough to stand and speak, all those Turners back there and others. Thank you for coming. Hope you come again. And greet all those around you. And don't forget, we'd like your feedback. Put it in this basket. See you next week.